today I will be showing you how to tune your guitar to play some goddamn metal. Then again, you will be able to use this tuning for just other styles, but... Alright, my name is Victor Satana, let's get started. Today we'll be addressing the standard tuning for metal music, and this is just in general the standard tuning for guitar. We'll be looking into 3 methods to do it, but we'll focus on the most important one. And at the end, we'll have an exercise just for your creative development. Now, if you're just beginning your metal journey, this video is for you. And if you got some experience, some of these methods might not be familiar, so you can stick around too. The first method is through fretboard matching, and this is a very old school method. And what you want to do for this one is you can have a reference point. Ideally, you want to get the first string of the guitar on the right note, but if you don't, if you're just playing by yourself, the idea is the guitar to be tuned with itself. So that's my first string. Let's say my second string. It's right here. So I'm gonna go to fret number 5 and try those two to match. Now I am using my distortion because this is fucking metal. And if you see, those two are not matching that well. So what I want is to tighten my string. So that those two are as close as possible. You can do the same for the rest of the guitar, except for string 2 and 3, because in there, instead of fret 5, you want to aim for fret 4. The second method is to use the harmonics to match. So what we'll do is on fret 7 and fret 5, we'll just tap the string a little bit on top. You can only do this for the lower 4 strings of your guitar. The other ones get a little bit tricky. You can do it for the first 2 as well. But for the second and third, because there's a difference there within the tuning of the rest of the notes, that one won't work. For example, I'm gonna go with my string 3 and 4. And we want these two to be matching. So on string 3, fret 7, harmonic. String 4, fret 5, harmonic. And these two. We can hear how they relate to each other. And we want to stay there until both sound as close as possible. Let's try it without the distortion. So that's clearer because we have less gain. You can hear how they get closer to each other. So you see, if you go a little bit too low or too high, the vibration starts to wobble a little bit. You want to go right where they start to match the vibration of the 2 strings. There we go. And now the more effective method, especially if you're beginning and when you're an advanced player also playing gigs or just need more precision, is to use a tuner. In which case you have many options. Some of those are not that useful. Some of those are pretty useful. So let's go from the less useful to the more useful. The first one is this analog tuner, which has a microphone, and you can also connect the input of your guitar, which will make it a little bit more precise. But if not, the microphone will pick up the note and it will show you here which note you are on and how close to the right tuning you are. Same process with I'll link this in the description in case you need it. Same process with the digital tuner. You can see that's the same even with my voice. All right, and you can go through this with the whole guitar, same thing. It does have an input where you can connect your guitar, which can be helpful. And this one, for example, comes with a metronome, which can be pretty useful too. Sort of two stones with one bird. Some of the more effective ones might be using a clip-on tuner. The clip-on tuner, it picks up vibration as opposed to microphone or the direct signal from the guitar. This one picks up the vibration on the instrument. So you have something like where you can see it, and it will give you the note on the tuner and show you how far off or on you are. The next one, which is the one most recommended for guitar after the clip-on tuner. I mean, first and then clip-on, if you cannot get one of those, is a pedal. You want to have one on your pedal board. And this one bypasses the signal of the guitar, so you won't be able to hear the guitar, but you will be able to see the tuner. So let's tune this one. And you see it gives you the note, and it gives you how far off you are. And if you are too low, you want to make it tighter. You want to let it ring a little bit so it picks up the full length of the signal. And you want to make sure you are on point with each string. It might be harder for it to pick up on the lower notes. This one is a 7th string, so I'm tuning the 7th string too. All right, so you want to make sure you're using the tuning pegs to tighten or loosen the right string. So make sure you can follow the string to see where it is held and then play around. You play it, you tighten, you loosen it, and you see the tuning where you are so that you can leave it in a good place. The standard tuning is the most widely used tuning across guitar. There are other types of tuning, but it's good to understand them in reference of the standard tuning. It's important if you're just starting out that you memorize, you really get to know which string is which note, because that will help you later on to navigate the fretboard. So it's a very important skill to have. From the thinnest to the thickest string, we're using notes of the musical alphabet. Now, if you are not fully familiar with the musical alphabet, it's pretty simple. There's just 7 names that we'll use over and over again, some alterations of those, but starting on A, you just go through the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, in that order. After G, you start again, A, B, all right, and so on. The first note, you want to make sure that you get it to an E. Now, when you use a clip-on tuner, like this one, you want to use probably the chromatic mode is the best one, because if the guitar is too out of tune, it will give you an estimate. It will try to give you, say you're in an E, but low, when you might just be on a C, C, D, E, so you still have to get to E. While if you see that you're on a C, and you should be on an E, you can go, okay, I need to tighten it until I'm on that E. The guitar tuning goes by fourths, which means you're going 4 notes in the musical alphabet below. So for example, if the first note is E, that's the standard. That's the basic criteria for the guitar. You got an E, so the second one will be a B. E, D, C, B. 4, right? You got E, you got B. All right, that's the second one. The third one, and this is something very important from the guitar. Between the second and third string, here we have a third. We're actually just going to G. And then it goes back to going by fourths. So we got B, just a third now to G. So B to A to G. We got the G. And now from G, same thing to D, to A, to E. It's always fourths. Once you hit the sixth string to E, it's the same as the first one. So it just repeats. So if you got a seventh string, you would go E, B, which is the same as the second string. If you got an eighth string for some reason, then you're probably gonna repeat what happens on the bottom, on the higher notes. And then you might hit a low G if you had it. And so that's the cycle of the guitar, and that's the standard tuning. Once you're in tune, you can play all your strings so that you also get familiar with how they sound open, when you hit them open. You can try clean too. Alright, and for the exercise that you got once you've tuned your guitar, if you know nothing else, that's fine. You can still use the open strings as they are to make some metal. So make sure you're tuned using either a clip-on tuner or a pedal tuner. And we'll try to make a riff, just to create it, improvise it, using only open strings. Alright, so I recommend you stick with the sixth, the lowest string, if you got a six-string guitar, and then the three higher strings, because those all form a chord, so they will sound good together. And just use rhythm to vary, to create something. Guitar better, and especially using this standard tuning. We will have more videos on drop tuning, open tuning, down tuning, which can be the core of metal music as well. So get your tuning down and start creating some goddamn metal.